So now this is the whole book in one slide, friends, right? And these are the 49 processes, 5 processes. These are called as process groups. These are knowledge areas. So this is the diagram that I gave you, the 10, the heart and the 5 pillars, the crown. So that is there. Right? Any question on this? So today we are going to do these two, integration and scope. Now, how do we start? We start with a charter, which is approval, funding, after talking to stakeholders. Then we create a plan, called as the project plan. This plan, because this is integration, right? So it means everything from here to here, all the 10 plans come together to create the plan, right? Think of it like a summary document. Think of it like the abstract of a book, right? That when you read the book is 200 pages, but the top is this abstract or summary. And then you have the plan, you start executing that plan. How you execute the plan, you are the project manager, you're directing the work, you're helping the team, you're managing the team, and the team is working. How is the team working with the team? Team is here, resources, acquire resources. So the work, you get them onboarded while you start the work, which it means planning has to be complete before you start the work, right? And then you get the resources. If you feel they are not up to the mark, they need some help, they need some training, you provide them training. And then you keep on managing their performance and see that they are on the right track. And when they're working, they're creating the knowledge that you're managing or storing as an artifact. Then, as the team is working on the project, you are, as a project manager, monitoring and controlling the project. You're monitoring to see what is the health of the project, progress. Is it okay? It's not okay. How are we doing? And you try to control it in the sense, if it is going wrong, you try to bring it back into the right process. As you're monitoring and controlling, you figure out, man, there's no way I can get this done in 3 months now, because we are behind and we had this new deliverable or new product. So you need to make a change control. So this is, and all of these are, the 10 knowledge areas are managed from here, because this is integration, right? You're integrating the entire effort here. And lastly, when you're done with the project, you close the project, right? So the most important knowledge area is the project integration management, because this is where the project manager does the entire work of the project. This is his main job, or her main job, to get the approval and funding, make a plan, get the team onboarded, do the job, store that knowledge, check how everything is going. If any changes are required, get those changes approved, and monitor the whole project till it comes to an end. Project is delivered.
I have one basic question, Dr. Sam. How can we control at the integration stage? I mean, knowledge area, in the sense that this is kind of a planning stage only.
See, there are two things. One is you're thinking like this, and then you're thinking like this, right? One is the, how do you say, horizontal is this knowledge area, vertical is process group. And I'm sorry, your question was that how are
we controlling at the integration stage or the knowledge area? Because as I can see, that probably it's the pre-scoping area before we've scoped it. Or
no, this is like a continuous. Imagine the question is, when is the project manager required? In the beginning, in the middle, at the end, or throughout?
Throughout.
Otherwise, the project manager will not have a job,
Right.
right? So the beginning of the project manager's job is here: funding, approval, requirements from the stakeholders, creating a plan, directing and managing the work of the team, making sure the knowledge is created. If they are not there, then they can go and check in the repository, controlling the project, making changes and closing it. So integration means everything coming together from start to end. Now let me ask, can you repeat?
Yeah, I think, Iti, what your question is and how you can correlate, is
Mhm.
when you're looking at the integration row, you have to also parallelly look at the process groups on top and relate them with the integration. Like while you're in integration phase and you're in execution, what is the steps you're going to take or the activities you're going to perform as a project manager? And then when you're in monitoring phase, how are you integrating your monitoring of your project? How are you going to monitor it? Like what integration, what are you going to integrate to monitor? I
I
don't know
think,
if that makes sense.
yeah. To add to that, Iti, I think you have to look at each phase in the project execution, right? At initiation phase, we have to develop the project charter and identify the stakeholders. From a or take the case of a planning process, right? We have like the scope management, schedule management, all these steps need to be performed. That will be a group work, but from a project manager standpoint, what he has to do is to make sure that all these are documented in that project management plan, right?
Very good, very good.
So that's why Dr. Sam said, like, as a project manager, your work will be the first row, or, I mean the second row, meaning, like, that will be your ongoing work through all the phases in the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just maybe think about it a bit more because I'm still not completely able to relate to this chart, I think.
Can you
Integration is
can you
basically what
rephrase your
you're
question in different
integrating.
words?
Yeah, I think what she's trying to say is when you're integrating, how are you even executing? So you're not executing, you're planning all that at that moment, if I'm not wrong. So when you're integrating, what execution plan are you planning when you're going to integrate? So it's like, how are you going to manage the project? How is the knowledge going to get transferred? You're actually planning all that execution and you're integrating that in your project charter.
Okay.
So
Sure.
during your integration phase, everything like how you're going to execute, how are you going to monitor, how are you going to close? So all that comes when you're integrating your project one at a time with the processes at a time, hand in hand.
Iti, can you rephrase your question because I want to really
So I think I'll come from the first step. So what do we mean by integration here? Maybe is it bringing
are you
together?
bringing together? Yeah, and also think like a very forget all this blah blah blah. Think a very common sense that what does the word integration mean in English? The word integration in English means putting everything together. Integrate, right? What do you integrate? There are 5 pieces. All those 5 pieces you bring together. There are 20 pieces. All those 20 pieces you bring together, right? That is the word integration mean. Then a lot of software engineers start thinking of integrating the modules that they have worked on, the code they have written to create the final release, which is also true, right? You are integrating the work done from there.
Yeah, I think I got it. Is it possible that project scope management, schedule management, etc., are subsets of integration?
Exactly. You got it. That's what I
Okay,
said. You're making a plan here, the project plan in the integration as a project manager, but this plan includes scope, time, cost,
perfect.
quality, all of them as a part of the project plan.
Got it.
You
Right.
are you are the project manager and you're directing and managing the work of what? Of making sure the team is working, this right? The quality is managed, the communications are happening, risk responses are done, items are coming in, stakeholders are happy. So all this is happening from here, direct and managed project work.
Got it.
We are
Perfect.
monitoring and controlling the work of the project. What work? All the work about scope, about time, about cost, about quality, about resources, about communication, about risk, about procurement, about stakeholders. So you're monitoring and controlling all of these knowledge areas from here under the process called monitor and control project work.
Right.
So your
Got it.
entire effort is integrated here. Make sense? So friends, if you
Absolutely.
understood this, then this is the whole first topic that we are covering today, which is called integration management. And the next topic that we are covering today is scope management. So I want to ask, Monica's gone.
I'm here only. Yeah.
So, yeah. So the point is that, friends, once we are integrating the project, have you understood all the 7 processes of integration management? That's a question.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Can somebody give me an overview what we mean by all of them and what is the main job of a project manager?
Um, So I would say differently, probably. As a project manager, you have to ensure that throughout each phases in the project, you have to ensure that all the processes that the team is doing is well under control and documented. Like if you take the case of initiation, you need to have a project charter, followed by the planning phase where you should have a project management plan, which will cover all the management things that you do throughout, the scope, schedule, cost, quality management, etc. And during the execution phase, you have to ensure that whatever that have been done in the planning phase is getting executed the right way. And in the monitoring and control, whatever the standards or the thresholds that you have kept, ensure that it's being met. If there is any variation, ensure that it goes through the change management process. And once the monitoring and control is done, then during the closure, ensure that the team is dispersed and whatever that needs to be done needs to be carried out.
Very good, very good. Awesome. Let's clap.
Thank you.
Anybody wants to add something?
You gave enough details.
Great job.